Okay, so there's probably a gazillion videos out there on stress and how to manage it, but this one is my take on it. So at its most basic definition, stress is simply when the demand placed on us outweighs the supply which we can provide, which means stress can be felt in any part of our life and at any time of our life, and is just as much to do with what's being demanded of us as it is to do with our own resources, both internal and external, otherwise known as resilience. Now, whilst the triggers for stress can change throughout our lives, the symptoms of stress are pretty universal, as are the strategies to deal with it. So some ways that stress can show in our lives is through our emotions, our thoughts, our physical health, and behavioral changes. So for example, you might find that you are sleeping too much or too little. You may find that your appetite may reduce because you're either restricting or forgetting to eat, or you may find you're comfort eating. You may notice a lack of concentration or irritability, and you're socially withdrawing. And with your physical health, you may find you're getting a lot more little infections like colds and flus, or getting tummy symptoms like going to the bathroom too much or too little, and even stomach cramps. How stress is experienced is extremely subjective and individual and relative, so no two people will experience the same event as stressful or in the same way. However, the principles of how to manage it are the same across the board. So let's kick off. 1. So where there's a great demand placed on us, let's see if we can increase the supply. Now you're thinking, oh, hang on a minute, if I need more money, I can't just go get more money. But what I'm trying to suggest is supply is often a state of perception. So for example, you might have financial anxiety and stress, which in real life may not be true. You might have an abundance of money, but you're stressed because perhaps you don't have enough of an understanding of how to manage that money. And this puts you in a psychological position of fear and doubt. By correcting your emotional state and understanding about your situation, this automatically then reduces your stress response. So 2, to improve your resilience by working on the pillars of good health. So for example, do the opposite of what stress is doing to you. So if your sleep is poor, give yourself more regulation. Give yourself enough time to sleep. If your appetite is poor or too much, regulate that. What that will do is your baseline resilience will improve, and it moves you further away from that tipping point where the slightest thing can tip you into being stressed. Now 3, one of the most common triggers for stress is change. And what change requires is it requires us to embrace the future and let go of the past. But we end up worrying a lot, which is really unhelpful because it keeps us busy doing nothing with no results, which can be disempowering and creates a vicious psychological cycle of fear. Embracing the future is facilitated by making plans, and making plans means we have strategies in place, which is empowering. 4, take up an activity or practice each day that allows you to create some space between you and your problem. Whether that's meditation, Tai Chi, a walk in the park, cultivate that sense of yourself that isn't dependent on the things that are causing you to be stressed, and you'll find that extremely liberating. And 5, lastly, change your view. See how you might be able to view a stressful event in a way that it can be transformational or an opportunity to grow. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.